It's an interesting time for business. Tariff and trade policies are dynamic, supply chains are squeezed, and cash flow, it's tighter than ever. If your business can't adapt in real time, you are in a little bit of hurt. So how do you get full visibility and adapt in real time? Over 42,000 businesses trust NetSuite by Oracle, your AI-powered business management suite. It brings accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all under one roof. NetSuite is the #1 cloud ERP for a reason. It's your single source of truth, giving you the data and control you need to move quickly. Real-time forecasting helps you move into the future with confidence, and with AI built in, you can automate the busy work and focus on strategy. NetSuite helps you see what's stuck, what it's costing you, and how to pivot fast. If I were running a business with a lot of moving parts, I'd use NetSuite for full control over everything. Tame the chaos with NetSuite. If your revenues are at least in the 7 figures, download the free ebook, Navigating Global Trade, 3 Insights for Leaders at netsuite.com/SPI. That's netsuite.com/SPI. The perfect product launch. It's the goal for every brand marketer. High heat, fast sellout, and fans posting recipes like trophies. What do Sydney Sweeney's soap drop, Taylor Swift's tickets, and your next launch have in common? Well, they're not bought, they're bragged about. Fanfare turns your drop into a moment. Fanfare cues real fans, blocks bots, and builds launch experiences worth screenshotting. Want hype without the heartbreak? Get Fanfare's 5-step hype drop playbook with our proven success formula and make your next launch unforgettable at fanfare.io/playbook. Again, fanfare.io/playbook.
So what are some things that we can do to manage stress? I really recommend, whenever you can, getting a few minutes out in nature. Try to get 10 minutes of sunshine a day at least. So this is not only important for our vitamin D levels, but sometimes we might be frustrated with something in our business or in our personal life. And just spending time in nature, breathing the fresh air is so profound and energizing for our bodies and our spirits.
Hey, it's Pat here. You're about to listen to something a little different on the show today. It's not our usual Friday format where I follow up on Wednesday's episode. Don't worry, those aren't going away forever. Just a little break to bring in something even more special, in my opinion, our Teaching Friday series, which we do with our SPI Pro members. We have an incredibly talented pool of people within SPI Pro, so we thought, why not give our pros the spotlight and teach you here on the podcast every once in a while. It's just one of the perks of being a part of Pro, in fact, is this possibility. With each episode, you get to hear a different pro teach you something special from their area of expertise. Without further ado, I'll let them take it away. Oh, and if you want to find out more about SPI Pro and be a part of it, you can go ahead and apply at spipro.com.
You're listening to the Smart Passive Income Podcast, a proud member of the Entrepreneur Podcast Network, a show that's all about working hard now so you can sit back and reap the benefits later. And now your guest host. She speaks 4 languages: English, French, Hebrew, and Spanish. Amalia Valle.
Running a business means legal questions are inevitable. Is this contract or agreement solid? What can I do if a client won't pay me? Am I set up properly for taxes? Well, rather than trying to navigate all of this on your own or searching endlessly online, imagine having a law firm on your side without the high hourly rates. That's exactly what Legal Shield's small business plans offer. With Legal Shield, entrepreneurs get access to real legal support, contract reviews, collection letters, guidance on business formation, and even help handling IRS audits. Members can book consultations, upload documents through the app, and work with a provider law firm that understands small business laws in your state. You also get proactive help on tax and trademark questions so you can stay ahead of legal risks. And if a client delays payment, Legal Shield can send professional collection letters to help you recover what you're owed, all for a fraction of what traditional attorneys charge. Go to LegalShield.com/SPI or call 833-570-9980 to learn more and get big business legal support without a big business budget. That's LegalShield.com/SPI. Hiring shouldn't be a hassle or a drain on your budget. Upwork is your one-stop shop to find, hire, and pay top freelance talent, saving you time and keeping costs in check all in one place. Companies at every stage turn to Upwork to get things done and find more flexibility in the way that they staff key projects and initiatives by assessing a global marketplace filled with top talent in IT, web development, AI, design, administration support, marketing, and more. And I've personally used them myself and can vouch for them. Posting a job on Upwork is easy. With no cost to join, you can register, browse freelancer profiles, get help drafting a job post, or even book a consultation. From there, you connect with freelancers that get you and can easily hire them to take your business to the next level. Upwork makes the entire process easier, simpler, and more affordable with industry-low fees. Post a job today and hire tomorrow with Upwork. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That is Upwork.com to post your job for free and connect with top talent ready to help your business grow. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com. Go there now.
Hello, hello. I am so excited to be here on the SPI podcast. My name is Amalia Valle. I am a certified yoga instructor, a certified health coach, and I'm also a mom, an actor, and a part-time flight attendant. So if that sounds like a lot of hats to you, you are correct. I do juggle quite a few hats, which I think often we do as entrepreneurs. We tend to juggle quite a bit, and sometimes we put self-care last. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about how we can take care of ourselves with a busy schedule. So we're going to talk a bit about the 3 elements of health: diet, exercise, and managing stress. 3 elements that are really crucial to our well-being. And I apologize, I get a cold pretty much once a year, so I've just recovered from it, so my voice might be a little bit funny. And if you would like to follow up after the episode, learn a little bit more about me, you can go to my website, www.yogabyamalia.com. And if you go to yogabyamalia.com/free guide, I do have a free guide that outlines everything we've been talking about today and has links to some recipes, some more details, some of my supplement recommendations. I also have a YouTube channel. It's just at Yoga by Amalia on YouTube. And I have little videos there with some healthy lifestyle tips. I will be referencing some of the videos here through the episode today. So those are 2 places where you can find me. So let's jump right in. Let's start with exercise. So I know for some of us, exercise can feel like a chore, right? Sometimes it doesn't feel like something that we really want to do, especially when we're super busy, super tired, just overloaded. It's one of those things that tends to go on the back burner. However, I would urge you to just shift this mindset and actually start to look at exercise as something like a treat. I know that sounds like a lot, right? But I'll tell you when this mindset shift came in for me. So I've been a yoga teacher for over 10 years now. I did always do yoga, and, that wasn't so hard for me to wrap my mind around because yoga was a part of my life. But doing any more vigorous exercise, lifting weights, any kind of gym activity, it just was not my thing. I was not interested. No, thank you. So when I had my daughter, that's when things really started shifting for me. All of a sudden, time was at such a premium. Working out actually was a privilege. It was not guaranteed that I would even have the time. So something that before I would have to force myself to do, and I might really drag my feet about it, all of a sudden, now I was like, okay, great, I have 10 minutes. I can squeeze in a workout. The baby's sleeping. And my husband and I both found this mindset shift because we were both like, okay, who gets to work out now? We have 10 minutes. So that became a mindset shift. And then out of that, I started finding really fun and quick workouts that I actually enjoyed. And the thing about exercise is once you have a regular practice of exercising, your body actually enjoys it. You release endorphins. You enjoy how good you feel. And I will say, I am all about making things fun. I'm still not a gym person. I don't think I will ever be somebody who's a gym rat. Here and there, if I am on a layover for work at my flight attendant job, Yes, I will go to the gym just to use the equipment that they have. But when I'm at home, I actually really prefer working out at home. So I know so many of us as entrepreneurs, we work from home. Don't think that you need to go anywhere. You don't. You can easily do workouts from your home. I have my favorite HIIT workouts, so high intensity interval training. And that's an amazing use of your time. You don't need to spend an hour working out. Honestly, some days I only have 10 minutes. I'm sure you might have the same issue. Maybe you only have 10 minutes. And please don't think that 10 minutes doesn't count, because it does. It all counts. So I have a trick I use in terms of motivation, because even though now I do actually enjoy working out, there are days that I really don't feel like it. So what I tell myself is that I only have to just show up. I have to show up for the first minute. That's it. And you would be surprised how effective that can be. Because honestly, most of our reticence about starting something, it's really just about starting it. Once we start, we get past that inertia, then we actually start to enjoy what we're doing. And I will say, music, for me at least, is crucial. I have a workout playlist. I'm constantly adding to it when I find a song that I love that just makes me want to move. I'm somebody who really loves to dance. Dance is a big part of my life and always has been. So any kind of music that makes me want to dance, that will go on my workout playlist. So just think about the kind of music that you really love that makes you want to move. And that can be whatever it is for you. Even if country music is what makes you move, that's fine. Put it on your workout playlist. And you would be surprised how effective it is. And I would recommend having a set of weights at home, having a yoga mat, or whatever it is that you would like to work out with. My yoga mat is pretty much permanently in my bedroom. It's pretty much a rug. I just move it to vacuum, and then it goes right back there. So that way, it takes away that extra step of, I have to take things out. When I know that I'm going to be working from home, I already have my sports bra on, so that I've eliminated that excuse. It's one less thing that I have to do. So just setting up systems to make it easier for yourself, it changes everything. So again, you just want to tell yourself you show up for the first minute. And you know what? If it's a day you really are that tired and after a minute you're really not feeling it, okay, maybe that's the day that you do need a break. But at least you showed up. I do have a video regarding this on my YouTube channel. It's called Workout Motivation. You'll see it on my YouTube. And so if you're having a day that you're just feeling, you know what, I don't want to work out, you can play that video, and maybe that will help give you that extra motivation. But I will tell you, I have really come to enjoy my workouts. I also enjoy pole fitness. So I had a pole installed in my room. I know it sounds very scandalous, but it's just for fitness. It's a great workout, and there's elements of dance in it. So it's something that I find really enjoyable. I know it's not going to be often that I have time to go into a studio, maybe once a month if I'm lucky. So I just do it from home. So I've set up my own little workout studio at home, and it's been incredibly effective for me. It's something that I enjoy, and that way, even with a really busy schedule and with so many different hats that I'm wearing, I'm able to keep up with my workouts. I have a regular workout practice. I do incorporate my yoga into it as well. And depending what I think my body needs that day. So I'm very in tune with my body at this point. But I never make myself feel bad for a short workout, because I know even a 10-minute workout, that is important, that is significant. Don't undervalue the importance of just really moving your body in a meaningful and purposeful way. And it's so good for our spirits as well. Really, as one of my favorite yoga instructors once told me, any movement is profound. And it's really, really true, especially us entrepreneurs who are working often from a desk, from home all day, move your body, find enjoyable ways to move your body. And while I am a big advocate of having a home workout studio, it is great every now and then to just take a class in something you love. So just even if it's once a month, if you love dance, get to a dance class. If you like rollerblading, maybe there's a rollerblading group or taking a nice bike ride or some kind of a activity outside the home, maybe once a month that you really enjoy, something just totally fun. If you think about what you loved as a kid, that can be a great clue of what you really might enjoy now in terms of movement. This was actually really effective for one of my clients who was really, really reluctant to exercise. She just, she was able to clean up her diet and do so many other things, but she was like, I don't know what it is. I just can't motivate myself to work out. And we did some digging and we discovered that she really loved tap dance as a kid. And, she really never got to do enough of it. So she started taking a tap class and she doesn't have a lot of time, so she goes when she can. But that's given her so much inspiration, so much joy, and so much motivation to move her body in other ways. So I would really encourage you to just take that moment to think about enjoyable activities. And it's all valid. Any movement is valid. Don't think that, if you're taking a tap class, that it's not enough of a workout. Believe me, any movement is profound. And that joy you take from that movement, that will bleed into other areas of your life as well. So now let's talk about another crucial element of our health, which is our diet. So I know this is not necessarily everyone's favorite subject either, but I will tell you it does not have to be as hard as you think. And it doesn't mean I'm going to tell you to eat salads all day. I definitely won't. And I don't do that either. So I am all about making good health fun and intuitive. And because if it's not fun and it's not easy, honestly, it's not sustainable. We have to do things that really make sense for us, for our lives, that we're able to sustain in an enjoyable way. So in terms of diet, we want to think about adding more nutrients, creating a more nutrient-dense diet. So yes, there are some things to eliminate, like processed food, but think of it less in terms of elimination and more in terms of adding things in. So how can you add more fruits and vegetables into your diet, especially vegetables, especially leafy green vegetables, which most of us don't get enough of? So there's so many easy ways to do this. You can keep pre-washed greens in your fridge and just add them to whatever you're making. If you're making an omelet, maybe you can add a handful of spinach to that. If you're having any kind of meal, where can you add a few greens? Just add them in. You would be surprised how good it tastes. I travel often to Tel Aviv for work, and that is a huge part of the cuisine in the Mediterranean, adding vegetables to every meal. In Israel, they even eat salad with breakfast. But it's not boring salads. It's actually, the salads are amazing. It's chopped tomatoes and herbs, and wherever you can add those incredible robust flavors, pomegranate seeds, fresh basil, things that actually make you excited to eat. And it doesn't have to take a long time. It's just a matter of having these things on your grocery list and then just adding them to what you're already eating. And then there is the component of processed food. So ideally, we want to eliminate or at least very much reduce processed foods from our diet. So that is the area where I really do urge my clients to make some elimination. Processed foods, I know they're easy. It can be hard when we're on the go all the time. Believe me, I get it. But there are easy replacements for them. So processed foods, I'm talking about things that come in packages. So there are a few items that come in packages that are really not so bad. And, some of them are actually fine. And I'll mention a few of my favorites. But for the most part, if it comes in a box or a bag, it's probably not the greatest for us. So, we know potato chips, they're not the best, any kind of prepackaged food. Aside from the fact that it is empty calories, they have high levels of sodium, additives. It's just not great for us. We want to be adding in more good things. So there are things like Lara bars or RX bars. Those are things that I would not, even though they are bars, I would not consider those processed because they do have really wholesome ingredients. They're not a meal replacement, but if you're out and about on the go, those can be nice things to have in your bag. And those are things that I do have with me often. But, there are things that are so easy to batch cook for the week. I know we're all short on time, but, just making a big batch of quinoa for the week. We make it here in the rice maker. My husband is Peruvian, and so quinoa is a staple in our house. And I use my mother-in-law's recipe. She sautés a little bit of garlic with some avocado oil right in the rice maker. The quinoa, you want to pre-wash it unless it's already been washed. So you want to wash it, ideally maybe soak it for 30 minutes. But at the very least, you do want to wash it. And then you just make it in the rice maker. You add some salt. I do have the recipe written out for this in my free guide, but it's really, really easy. And you just make enough for the week. You really just make it like rice. And it's great. And maybe you've tried quinoa in the past. Maybe you weren't so crazy about it. Try experimenting with it a little bit. The first time I tried quinoa, I didn't love it either. And now I really, really do. So adding the garlic makes all the difference. There's also very easy homemade dressings that you can just throw together, even just taking olive oil and some balsamic vinegar and mixing it together. You can make salads with quinoa. You can use it as a base for anything. You can use it really the same way that you would use rice. And the great thing about quinoa, it's so good for you. It's an ancient grain. It's full of amino acids, naturally gluten-free, and it's also a protein. So for those of you who are vegan or vegetarian, this is an amazing addition to your diet. And even if you're not, you can either add this to meat dishes or you can have it on its own if you need a shelf-stable food. If you're going somewhere, often when I'm traveling as a flight attendant, I take my quinoa with me because it can be out of the fridge for the day. I wouldn't keep it out of the fridge for more than a day. But if you're out and about for the whole day, your quinoa will be fine. And then you have a nice shelf-stable protein. You can add so many things to this. You can add your greens to this. You can add roasted vegetables to this. You can add herbs. You can add homemade dressings. I even love to add roasted pecans to this. It's actually delicious. There are so many things you can do with this. I actually will be uploading a video to the YouTube very soon where I walk you through how I make my quinoa. But honestly, it is just so, so easy. Another great thing that you can batch cook and you can add to your batch cooking repertoire for the week is roasted sweet potatoes. So sweet potatoes, again, super easy, super nutrient dense. They're amazing for you. So what I like to do, I just slice them lengthwise. I put them on a baking sheet face down, drizzle with some coconut oil, and I cook it on a high heat, around 400 to 425 for about 45 minutes. You want to wait until they're starting to caramelize a bit at the edges. You can poke them with a fork, make sure they're soft. It's so easy. It's really just slice, put on baking sheet, put in the oven, and then you can go back to working on things from home. And they will be fine in the fridge for the rest of the week. You can take them on the go, or you'll have something ready for your lunch. They pair nicely with the quinoa. You can cut them into little cubes if you want, add them to your quinoa salad. You would be surprised how delicious they are, especially when you cook them this way. I think a lot of us are used to steamed sweet potatoes, which is not my favorite way to eat them. I really like them this way. This way, the sweet potatoes caramelize at the edges and it's delicious. It's so good. Trust me. So I think you will really enjoy this. Again, that recipe is in my free guide as well. And another thing that I love to make that I think it's such a fun and easy thing to make. Sometimes I travel to Brazil for work, and one thing I discovered over there is tapioca crepes. So they just call them tapioca in Brazil. They're very, very easy to make. You buy hydrated tapioca flour. You can buy them at Brazilian stores, or you can buy them on Amazon. So it's a hydrated tapioca flour because it's tapioca flour that's been pre-hydrated. And literally, you just take the tapioca flour and you pour it into the pan and it forms a crepe. I have a video on my YouTube where I walk you through it. It's so, so delicious. It's so easy. So then you have a gluten-free crepe that's healthy and you can fill it with whatever you want. So I fill it with all kinds of different things depending on my mood. You can fill it with chicken and avocado. I like as a treat sometimes to fill it with some goat cheese. Normally I do try to keep my dairy low. However, goat cheese is a lot gentler on our bodies. It's a lot more digestible than the traditional cow dairy cheese. So that's another fun thing that you can add to your diet. There's so many things. I would just urge you to look at diet in terms of adding more nutrients in, adding more vegetables, adding more good fats. Don't be afraid of fat if it's a good fat. What's a good fat? Avocados, good quality olive oil, coconut oil. Our body actually needs this. Even grass-fed butter. I do love the paleo diet. I am not a strict paleo diet person. However, I do think it has great guidelines for us to eat. So one little trick that I like to use, if there's something that I'm really craving and I want a healthy version of it, I just look up the recipe. So if I want pizza, but I want a healthy pizza, I'll just put paleo pizza recipes. So if you put paleo in front of any recipe, that's paleo, P-A-L-E-O, you will get healthy versions of that recipe. And it's really cool. The paleo community is very creative and there are so many recipes out there for pretty much any food you're craving. If you're craving cake, pizza, anything, because I like to eat too. I don't just eat salads all day. I have a healthy appetite. I love eating. I love food, but I also love my health. So I try to reduce my inflammatory foods. And so this is one way that I found to enjoy what I love to eat and find healthier versions with it. And then experiment and make the recipes my own. So again, I know we're all short on time, but you would be surprised how some recipes are a lot simpler and less time consuming than you think. And again, we come back to that idea of batch cooking and batch cooking, just picking one day of the week where you make some simple things that are going to last you the week. It's really, really helpful. One thing I love to do is there's a very simple banana bread recipe that I do. And again, I put paleo banana bread. And it's so simple. And then I have banana bread for at least a few days. In my house, it doesn't last very long. Once I make it, my husband starts eating it. But so it might not last a week for me, but it might for you, depending on how many people are in your house. But things like that, it can make your life a lot easier. And then you eliminate some of the anxiety about what do I eat and maybe eliminate some of those takeout days. Maybe you just have a takeout day once a week instead of every day. So these things can make your life a lot easier. Again, my free guide has a lot more ideas and recipes in there, so you can refer to that for any of the things that we've talked about or for some more ideas. So now let's talk about another crucial component of our health, which is stress management. So nowadays, we do have a lot of stress. I think especially in the post-COVID world, we're all working a lot. We're all juggling a lot. Those of us with kids don't necessarily always have as much help as our previous generations might have had. So what do we do? How do we manage the stress? So there's a couple things. So one thing that I always start out with my clients is I check on whether they're taking magnesium. So magnesium, I think most of us don't realize what a crucial component this is to our stress management. Magnesium is a critical mineral, and it's something that we traditionally used to be able to get from food. In many years past, our soil was more rich with magnesium, so we might not have needed to supplement because we were getting it naturally from our food. However, unfortunately, nowadays, it's almost impossible to get enough magnesium from your food. So there are natural sources of magnesium for sure. Dark chocolate, almonds, oysters, even swimming in the ocean. These are all great sources of magnesium. And by all means, I encourage those. However, it's very unlikely you will get enough magnesium for what you need from food or even the ocean alone. So what I take myself and what I recommend to pretty much everyone I meet, because I think this is a public health service, is to take magnesium. So there's many different forms of magnesium depending on what your needs are. I outline some of this in my free guide. I personally take magnesium citrate. I take it as a powder that I mix with water at night. What I like to take is Natural Calm that you can get in the store at health food stores, or you can get it on Amazon. That's something that I love. I have a link to that in my free guide. However, if you find another magnesium you like, that is fine as well. It's just important that it's something absorbable, and you'll start to notice a big difference with it. There's an incredible book called The Magnesium Miracle, written by a physician, and she goes into detail as to why magnesium is so important. And it's actually incredible how many chronic diseases can be prevented with sufficient magnesium. So I know I'm going on about magnesium, but it really, really is that important. So I would encourage you to start experimenting with a magnesium supplement. So in terms of other stress management, I think some of us definitely, well, all of us have days where we are more stressed out than others. So there's a practice that I really love. Actually, there's several. So one practice that I love that's very simple and very calming, if you just need a quick way to just calm down and center yourself so that you can get back to whatever activity you were doing, it is a yogic practice. It's a yogic breathing called Nadi Shodhana. It's otherwise known as alternate nostril breathing. It's a really beautiful, centering, calming practice. It's amazing for any type of anxiety, whether it's temporary anxiety or chronic anxiety. It's a bit hard to describe by audio only, but it's really just the way it sounds, alternate nostril breathing. I do have a video on my YouTube. It's just called Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. Or you can find many videos on this, and it's helpful for the first time you do it to just see someone doing it so you get the right hand placement, just because it is a bit difficult to describe. But trust me, once you see it, you'll see how easy it is. It's very, very easy. And it's a very beautiful practice that you can take with you anywhere you go. So even if you're out and about, maybe you're stuck in traffic, this is a very quick little breathing exercise that you can do just in that moment to just feel more centered and peaceful. It's a really beautiful practice. Another practice that I love that I think is just incredible, it's called EFT. It's amazing. It's tapping. So you are tapping on meridians throughout the body. And the person that I love to watch the videos of Brad Yates on YouTube for this. He is really the king of this practice, EFT. He's amazing. His videos are awesome. And he has EFT practices for pretty much anything you might be feeling. If you're feeling sad, if you're feeling grumpy, if you're feeling like you're having a bad day, if you want to break a negative thought pattern, Brad Yates has a video for it. So he's amazing. And EFT, it's very, very simple. You're just tapping on points throughout the body as you repeat a mantra. And it's really, really effective. So I would definitely encourage you to check out his videos. I've found them so helpful and profound for whatever I might be feeling or going through. And then there's some other really lovely ways that we can also manage our stress. So there's one of my favorite yoga poses. It's called Viparita Karani, which means legs up the wall pose. It's as easy as it sounds. It's just taking your legs up the wall and then lying down. So what I like to do is I like to sit sideways towards a wall. If you don't have a spare wall, some of us live in cities with very small apartments. So I used to live in New York City for a long time. So you can also use your headboard. You can also do this just scooting in as close as you can sideways to your headboard and then swinging your legs up the wall. And perhaps I'll do a video on this as well to just illustrate this, but it's really as easy as it sounds. And then you just lie down with your legs up the wall. The reason for coming in sideways is you want to get your legs up vertically up the wall as much as possible. So it's not bad if you're not totally vertical. It's just, the ideal position is having your legs vertical up at the wall. And this is such an amazing pose. I recommend doing it for 5 to 10 minutes. 10 minutes is ideal if you can, but if you don't have 10 minutes, 5 minutes is fine. And this can be a nice little break from whatever you're working on. Maybe you've been working from home all day and your back is hurting and you're frustrated. Just take 5 minutes and put your legs up the wall. You would be surprised how effective this is. It's amazing for stress and anxiety. It's also really, really good for your circulation. And a lot of us who are sitting at a desk a lot of the day, our circulation might suffer for it. So just putting your legs up the wall is not only good for your mind, it's also good for your body, for your circulation. It's great to invert our bodies as much as we can. So this is a type of very mild inversion in yoga. And it's very calming. This is also something nice you can do in the evening if you want to wind down for bed. It's a really, really beautiful practice as well. So what are some other things that we can do to manage stress? I really recommend, whenever you can, getting a few minutes out in nature. I tell my clients all the time, try to get 10 minutes of sunshine a day at least. So this is not only important for our vitamin D levels, which is another thing that we all tend to be chronically low in as we spend more and more time indoors, but it's also great for our spirits. So that can even be your exercise for the day, coming back to the exercise component. Sometimes a brisk walk in the sunshine, maybe that's what we need that day, or even a run if you're feeling like a run that day. I know that we're all trying to be careful of the sun, which I totally agree with. However, getting that 10 to 15 minutes in the bright sunshine around 12 p.m., that is actually an ideal time to absorb our vitamin D. So that is the one time that I would say, you know what, don't worry so much about the sunscreen, just for those 10 minutes, so that you can absorb the vitamin D. And it's great for your mind, for your body, and spending time in nature. There's been so many studies that show how spending time in nature is so crucial to our well-being. It's calming. We're wired for this. We're literally wired for this. Our ancestors all spent so much more time outdoors and in nature. And it reminds you of the bigger picture. Sometimes we might be frustrated with something in our business or in our personal life. And just spending time in nature, breathing the fresh air is so profound and energizing for our bodies and our spirits. Another thing that, maybe nowadays as we're doing things more virtually, we're not connecting as much personally on a personal level. And I know virtual is an amazing opportunity. We can get so much more done that way. We can be in two places at once. But I do urge you to schedule time regularly with somebody that you love spending time with. I have a friend that I love being with her. It's so much fun. Whenever she's my friend from back in high school, and whenever we're together, we just laugh like kids. And it's just such a pure joy. So I try to see her at least once a month. I would love to see her more than that, but sometimes it's not possible. But just knowing that I'm going to see her at least once a month, and then I feel so good afterwards, it's so important. It just gives me that extra spark of joy. So I really recommend give yourself that time with somebody that you love to spend time with. Even if it's only once a month, it's great if it can be more. But don't undervalue the importance of seeing those people who just really light you up. And then one more thing that I will mention that for me, it's personally so much fun. I love to take little dance breaks. So especially when I feel stressed. So I am a dancer. I've always loved dance in one form or another. But even if you're not a dancer, believe me, no one will see you. Take down the window shades, lock your door, and just put on some music and just dance your heart out for a few minutes. You would be surprised how profound this can be in elevating your mood. Put on any music that you love. We all have that song or those songs that just makes us happy. We want to, as much as possible, tap into that little kid in us. And that's what this does when we put on this happy, fun music that we just love. Like, that song that comes on and you're like, wow, that's my song. Yes, that's the song you want to put on and move to. It is so much fun. I know we're busy, but try it. I promise you, you won't regret it. You'll work even more productively afterwards. I promise you. So those are some of my favorite tips that we've gone through today. I will include links to my YouTube where I have some of the videos that I've referenced. I'm going to include a link to my guide. Again, that's www.yogabyamalia.com/free guide. And you'll get a free guide that outlines everything we talked about today and also has some links and goes into some more detail. My YouTube, again, is just at Yoga by Amalia. It's been such a pleasure spending time with you today. I'm so excited to hear how everything goes for you. Please feel free to reach out. You can go to my website, yogabyamalia.com. Feel free to drop me a message. I'd love to hear from you. Feel free to ask any questions you would like. I'm excited to hear how this goes for you. So I am wishing you a beautiful day. I'm wishing you the best health, the best connections with your family and your loved ones. And I will see you soon.
Thank you so much for listening to the Smart Passive Income podcast at smartpassiveincome.com. I'm your host, Pat Flynn. Sound editing by Duncan Brown. Our senior producer is David Grabowski, and our executive producer is Matt Gartland. The Smart Passive Income podcast is a production of SPI Media and a proud member of the Entrepreneur Podcast Network. Catch you next week. Look, I get it. You want to grow your business, but trying to sell to hundreds or even thousands of people gets very exhausting very fast. But what if you could sell at scale with a simple, powerful quiz? Score App helps you sell to more people without adding more to your plate. You build a quiz or assessment that your audience actually wants to take. Then they answer a few quick questions and get a personalized result right away. It shows them where they're at and what they need to do next and how you can help. And you build huge amounts of trust before you make even a single offer. No hard sell, no chasing leads, just value at scale. Get 50% off the first 3 months using the discount code SPI. All you have to do is just head to scoreapp.com/SPI. Again, that's scoreapp.com/SPI. Hey, fellow podcaster, does this sound like something you've experienced? You record your podcast episode on one platform, download the files, edit in another app, then fire up a different tool just to create these social clips? Well, it can be clunky, time-consuming, and frankly overwhelming, especially for creators trying to grow. And that's why I'm excited to tell you about Riverside. Riverside is the all-in-one platform. Record, edit, and repurpose your podcast content all in one place. You just log in, record with your guests no matter where you are in the world, and just like that, studio quality audio and high resolution video. We use Riverside here at SPI as well now. With built-in AI, I can automatically clean up my audio, saving myself so much editing time, and it can even auto-generate clips to make promoting the show a breeze. And with Magic Clips, I can grab the best moments and repurpose them as short-form video, perfect for YouTube Shorts, TikTok, or Instagram, without re-recording a thing. So if you're tired of juggling tools and want a faster, simpler way to create and scale your content, it's time to try Riverside, built by creators for creators. Just go to smartpassiveincome.com/Riverside and use code SMART to get 1 month free on the Pro plan. That's smartpassiveincome.com/Riverside, promo code SMART.